Hey guys, we have got the Zenith B23 again. I want to put some more uses on that before austere August begins. Don't think I'm going to use this for that month. I have this Superspeed, a vintage Gillette. Now this guy has been kind of DIY'd and hacked up. Somebody filed down 3 of the sides, and this is how it would normally look. Now why they did it, maybe to give them a little bit of some flat to hold on to. I don't know. Maybe it was on a robot, a self-shaving robot. I'll get that Boar back in the water for a few minutes. Blade we're going to be using today is the Wilkinson Sword, and this is the one from India. And this is my one that I will eventually just see how far I can take it. There's the M for marathon, and here's the paper covering. I had to write India to remind me which one it was. The company also makes some in Germany, and outer packaging says classic on it, and that's how you can tell. At least that's what my research seems to tell me. And so we're going to stick this Indian version, which is a lot cheaper than the German version, into this Superspeed. I haven't tried this blade in a twist to open, and this is a very, very inexpensive razor to get on eBay. Sometimes you can get 4 of them for $15, you know, in a lot purchase. And so cheap blade, cheap razor, expensive soap. German was the blade we weren't going to go for the Wilkinson Sword, but it is the soap we're going for today with Klar Seifen. And this is the Sandalwood, which would be Sandalwood. You can see Sandalwood right there if the camera were to be focusing properly. It is a bit of a disappointment when you get it because it's such a small tin. It's very small. It is kind of tallish. Now my hope is, and it does seem to be a case where a little can go a long way. It is I put a little bit of water on top of it just to kind of help it, because it is a truly hard soap, so I don't mind blooming actually hard soaps. And I considered using the Klar for austere August because it's a little pricey. I think maybe 30 bucks for this little tin here. Does it tell me the size on the... No, it doesn't. And the tin dents really easy if you travel, that sort of thing. Now you could grate it and then put it in any kind of container you wanted, but I kind of think the tin is a little charming. I know there are definitely folks, especially in Germany, that have fathers and grandfathers that grew up using this brand of soap. It is popular there, is what I understand. Let me not forget to get my face wet here. Probably 24 hours of growth on my stubble, kind of as usual. And I'm confident this Boar brush is going to be able to summon up some soap from the Klar. Let's just do a 30-second load and see how that works. And let's see, 45 is going to roll around right there. Now, I have tried this scent before and I really like it. It is a sandalwood scent, of course. It's got a little bit of a powder. You can see how we are getting messy here. It's got a little bit of a powdery note to it. It doesn't have a super strong woody sandalwood nature to it, but it's there. And it's got some other things as well. It does kind of follow the European sandalwood tradition, but in a good way for me, not like D.R. Harris. And now D.R. Harris, I like most of their scents, and definitely not like the Taylorville Bond Street sandalwood. So this gets you kind of messy because of that small tin. And so let me rinse that off. I need to put some tape over this label to try to preserve the waterproofness of it all before it just totally disintegrates. It's just a normal paper label without any kind of coating on it to protect it from moisture. Well, there goes my towel. Alright, let's mix this up. Just see if 30 seconds was long enough. I did bloom the puck, like I said, maybe for a minute. That may be all, so not a lot. Sorry for the narrow field of view. I have an older camera that I'm using. So if the Klar actually goes a long way in terms of the amount of product that you use, then it could turn out to be an economical soap. So I was anxious to have it be a candidate for the austere August. Now without adding any water, this is what we have. After just mixing around, obviously that's too dry to use, so how much water do we add? Well, because I started with a relatively dry brush compared to a lot of people, that means I usually end up adding more water than they do back into the lather. You can shortcut it, of course, by starting with a wetter brush, and feel free to try that and experiment. What you can do is take the really wet brush out, and after you rinse it, and then give it 1-2 shakes, for example, and then load your soap from there. See how that amount of water works for you. Change the number of shakes, different things like that to find out what makes you happy. So the lather is building up and it's looking really neat. It's looking very creamy. I've used the classic scent, which is nice. I've used the Sport. I've used the Sandalwood. And they're all very nice to me, and they all perform really well. So at least you're getting something that performs well for your cost there. Taylor of Old Bond Street, they're solid hard soaps, along with Trumper and True Fit and Hill. They have outsourced their hard soaps for years now. And so you're paying for the name and you're paying for the scent, and you're getting kind of a mediocre hard soap base. So it's pretty good. It's okay. But it's definitely not worth a premium price tag in terms of performance. Now, if you've fallen in love over the years with one of their scents, then that might be a reason enough for you to go ahead with that kind of purchase. So we've just added 3 teaspoons of water. This is kind of what the lather is looking like now. It's definitely kind of spreading out more, looking wetter. I believe I have loaded enough soap on the brush, so that's good. It's not very airy, staying kind of low, so that's I think I generally find that I like that a little better. So we've got 4 teaspoons in there now. Sometimes hard soaps do require more water to be added to the mix, since they are hard and have had that moisture kind of cured out of them. Kind of a concentrate, if you will. I'm just a big hard soap fan because they last for decades. So they're not going to go bad in your den, on your shelves waiting to be used. The performance almost certainly will not go bad. The scent may diminish over time. I think we are looking pretty good. Now, this is a stiff brush right now, so I may appreciate a thicker lather. I may not get it today, but we'll see. We'll just see what kind of lather I end up with. So it's not super drippy. It is keeping still. It is holding its shape and that kind of thing, but I think that's kind of what I want to try today. Water out of the goatee. We don't want that to flush out the lather. All right. This is a nice dense Boar brush. Oh man, that's pretty comfy. I'm really glad that this brush has gotten comfortable pretty quickly. It is still very stiff, but as we use it, as it opens up more, it'll lose a little bit of that backbone and stiffness, and I think it's going to just move into a really nice knot. It's got good, more dense than most of the Simogs, but it's got the nice tip softness that is similar to the Simogs and that Omega doesn't usually have. And so this may become a favorite, especially with this nice handle. So the sandalwood scent is not super strong right now. You know, I have a different standard for the hard soaps somehow. I get pretty critical when a crope doesn't have a strong scent. But when it's a hard soap that's been around for decades, I think I'm a little more forgiving for some reason. This lather kind of looks perfect. Definitely doesn't need any more water. I think it could, you know, if you really wanted a drippy lather, you could add more water. So you can do the scrub motions in circles, clean your skin and work that lather into it, and then switch to the painting. And then the painting is a way to kind of spread it out. Painting is also a way to get that good stuff that's around your brush off of your brush and kind of onto your face. Oftentimes that is the nice lather that's so luxurious. Alright, I think we're good. Might have hit the ratio just right with this soap today. So let's see how the inexpensive blade in the inexpensive razor works. Last time I remember, these Superspeeds did not really grip the blade so close to the edge on the bottom side, and so you got a little bit more audio, that sort of thing. Let's see if that's true. Hey, cutting well. A little bit of audio, but not too bad. It doesn't. Here's what it doesn't feel, and this is important for me. It doesn't feel scrapey. I don't mind audio as long as it doesn't feel scrapey. And it actually, it's funny, it feels a little more scrapey on this left side than the right. That's interesting. Now, I'm not, it sounds scrapey on that other side, but it's very smooth and comfortable. So I can understand why when they brought this model out, they sold a lot of them for a long time, because this blade is working really well in it. I'm looking forward to seeing the condition of my stubble to see whether, you know, is the smoothness justified? Did I end up getting a good shave? Touch up on that trouble spot right there. My son got bit by a poisonous snake yesterday. He was reaching under a bush to get a garden hose. He'd never had a problem with snakes around this house before. And he got bitten. The distance between the holes seems to indicate a juvenile. And it was definitely poisonous because his bit him in the finger, and the finger turned black and blue in places, and I'm glad we were able to catch it quickly and get him to the hospital pretty fast. Got the anti-venom going into him and stuff. Of course, he doesn't. Not really happy about the experience yet, but he's going to have a story to tell. I mean, how many people can say they've been bitten by a poisonous snake? Something you see in movies a lot, but not really in real life. Some of us have gotten bitten by the garden snakes and, you know, those little harmless guys. black snakes as well. He's doing okay. We got him to the hospital, and you know, surely that's going to go all right. Okay, and rinse. All right, so third pass. My neck feels a little raw. I got a really nice shave during that first pass, and so I might not have needed to kind of touch up my neck area quite so much. And I don't know if you noticed, but the razor did actually slip out of my grip a little bit as I was fumbling with it and trying to be too fast, and I touched it to my neck without actually having a good grip. So that could actually be, I'm sorry for the vibrations, could actually be the issue. You know, I gave myself a little razor burn. Excellent glide. This soap is a very good performer, no doubt what has helped it to stay around all these years. What does the lid say? Since 1840. How about that? I'll try to end the shave pretty quick because of those vibrations. It's harder for me to join videos now because my situation's just in more flux. Otherwise I'd just pause you and cancel the... Oh yeah, look, and that is about where the razor slipped. So I gave myself a little cut there because of my little finger fumble. You know what I have on hand? The All-Man Hydro Gel. This is a brand from the Lidl stores, Lidl. And it's just a like a lotion consistency. Of course, I guess it's a face balm, so most of them are that way. And it seems to work pretty well. It's got a ton of ingredients, so I'm sure we're talking lots of chemicals and things like that. They are known for, Lidl is known for trying to be friendly to like the environment and your face and all that, so hopefully there aren't some of those no-no ingredients for face cosmetics. What makes it a hydrogel? I guess it's just it does feel pretty soothing. It's got a very light generic scent, so it's not going to offend anybody. It seems to work pretty well, and so if you have a Lidl on hand and you want to experiment, I don't think it costs too much, then feel free. It might be good for you. Happened to be what I had on hand. Because of the snakebite incident, I had to just grab a bunch of stuff and head on out. And so that's why I'm here shaving with just some miscellaneous stuff. Alright, well, the closeness is really nice today. So for me, the Wilkinson Sword from India blade is a great combo with the Superspeed. This one happens to be, does it have the date designation on it? I4, and so one could look that up on the internet there and know what year it was created, and we know it was created in the fourth quarter of the year because of the 4, but the I will tell us the date. I'm pretty sure we know this is not Zamac, but I'm pretty sure this is brass because it would have rusted by now, so at least we know it's not one of the later models that I know with the Tex they turned some of those into Zamac razors, pot metal at the core, and I don't know about the Superspeeds though. They probably canceled those out before they started switching to Zamac. Well, looks like about the perfect mix. I've got a little bit more here left over than I might normally want. Excellent slick soap. The feel of it. This is a wet mix, and so it's still got a nice, a light, soapy, oily feel. It's not a thick consistency. It felt very good on my face as I was working it, and it looks like you could definitely take that a little drier if you wanted a more creamy feel. So, and the slickness, the contact slickness here is very, very nice. So it looks like it's going to be a performance soap. for anybody who needs a good slick surface. And obviously that is that quality, that slickness is probably why it's been around for so long. It's going to serve shavers very well. All right, yeah, that mild scent on that balm is coming out. The scent on for the sandalwood for the lather was very light as I was using it, 3 or a 4. I was able to pick it up, but not very strong at all. In a sense, it might be good for some people who just want a little hint of a scent around you as you're shaving, but don't want it to overpower you during your morning or during your night shave. And then you can put any cologne with it that you want because it's so light. And of course, many of them have sandalwood as a base, and so that would just contribute to that. Not a super woody sandalwood, like I said. It's more like the powdery, but not a feminine. It's not a feminine powdery. There's some other notes in there too that I can't really describe all that well. I'm sorry, I'm just not good at this particular genre of all those supporting cast members next to the sandalwood. Pretty sure it's a synthetic sandalwood oil would be my assumption, unless they're just using very little of it, because real sandalwood oil is very expensive. All right, 4 teaspoons of water for 30 seconds of loading, and it is a stiff brush. Your brush type can change the amount of loading you need to do for any particular soap. And I think we're good. The Wilkinson Sword does great in another razor. Very cool. All right, guys. Hey, you guys take care. And we would go check on my son today, and I'll report in, I'm sure. And I'm sure he'll be fine. He's in good hands. We have a local children's hospital here, and they're very qualified. So I'm really glad about that. All right, guys. You take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and I hope that this video has brought you something that helps you out. You take care. Good night.